Hello, friends. So at my local grocery store, I can go in. There's a local Texas-owned company that does these amazing ginger turmeric shots. So they're anti-inflammatory, they're immune system boosting, and I really love them. Now they come in 2 ounce bottles, and you buy them as a pack of six. Now for a pack of six of these 2 ounce bottles, it costs $9.98. So that's about a little more than $1.65 a bottle. Is that worth it? I don't know. During a season when um, maybe it's cold and flu season, or like we're experiencing right now, another um, COVID-19 variant is running loose around Houston, Texas. It might be worthwhile. But in terms of having this as a regular part of your wellness package, I think that's going to be outside of the budget for lots and lots of people. It certainly would be outside of the budget for me. So I wanted to share with you that in my family, we make our own. So over the next few minutes, I wanted to bring you a mini workshop on creating your own ginger turmeric shots. So for the ginger turmeric shots, this is a little bit infrastructure intensive in that one of the ingredients that's really important is a slow juicer. So these could be costly if you don't already have one. It might be worthwhile if you're going to do this a lot to pitch in with friends, and several of you share a slow juicer. But anyway, you'll need a slow juicer. I think it makes some sense to have a citrus juicer for the oranges, although for the amount that you're going to be doing, we're going to be doing, probably you could do that the citrus part by hand. Either a vegetable peeler or a spoon. I use a vegetable peeler. My girlfriend does the same thing with a spoon. A knife and cutting board. Oranges. I got a $6 bag of oranges. Red turmeric. The turmeric I spent about $6.50 for that. That's $12.50. And ginger. So if we use this all, which I doubt very much, but if we used it all, that's about four and a half. So that's about a $17 investment. And black pepper, which I'm not going to include in the cost because we're going to have a bunch of it. And you need something to put these shots in. Now, thankfully, we have a bunch of the bottles from leftover ones that we've had store bought. So these are basically all the things you're going to need. A little funnel might be useful so you don't make a big mess when you're putting things in there. Right. So I've thoroughly washed the ginger and the turmeric. Um, like I don't typically peel ginger and turmeric, but this is a case where you're going to be running it through the slow juicer, and because it's so fibrous and so full of pulp, it's really important. And I mentioned my girlfriend peels ginger with a spoon. So if you can see, I'm just using a teaspoon here, and this is really handily taking the skin off. So no special tool. Like if you had a vegetable peeler, that's great, but it's really not necessary. And you might do this rather than peeling all the ginger and turmeric uh, that you bought, everything that's in your house. You might do this in batches, do a little at a time, and make sure you don't have spending time peeling something you're not going to use. So I'm going to pause the recording, but you're going to want to peel as much ginger and turmeric as you're going to start juicing. So while I didn't peel the whole batch, I peeled enough that I've got a pretty good starting point because recognize that the lion's share of the juice, probably 60% of the total juice is going to be orange juice. Otherwise, the ginger and the turmeric will be overpowering. Um, so I mentioned the ginger and the turmeric are really fibrous, right? So in addition to peeling it, you're going to want to cut it into fairly small pieces. One of the things that I didn't say, and you'll get a reminder every time you use turmeric, it will stain everything it touches yellow or red. So that's okay. The kryptonite for turmeric stains is bleach. So in my house, we like Clorox cleanup, which is a cleaner and bleach solution. But it doesn't have to be Clorox cleanup. Any kind of bleach product, when the bleach comes in contact with the turmeric, it will turn it red, or it will turn it bright red. Most of the bright red turmeric residue and stain will rinse off, and anything that doesn't will fairly easily wash off. So I mentioned this during the interview, or during the intro rather, but like when do I like to drink these? I like to drink these when I have a cold coming on, but I also think long term, I'm trying to think now if we're in an environment where we already have a flu season that comes every year. So why am I not taking steps like this to increase my immune system, my immune function, and also, it'd be separate steps, but my gut microbiome to make sure that I'm going to be able to skillfully negotiate these difficult seasons in a helpful way. But also, during this time of pandemic, I think it's pretty important for me and my family. We're going to make sure that we're doing what we have easy, direct control over to make sure that our immune system is firing on all cylinders. So finish cutting up all of these, and then we're going to move on to our first step with the slow juicer. All right, so we've got the slow juicer all set up. It's plugged in. I checked to make sure the chute is clear of any debris or obstacles. I've also got our ginger and turmeric all cut up and ready to go. Here's the other thing, just from a cleanup standpoint, you'll need, depending on the brand of your juicer, I expect this will not be different. You're going to need a catch basin for the juice. You're also going to need a catch basin for the pulp. Now, because of the coarseness and the fibrousness of the ginger, keep a close eye on this chute because you're probably going to have to take apart the slow juicer many times during the process to remove the pulp. So we'll get started. We'll press the button. We'll begin to drop a little bit at a time in here. All right, so you won't be able to see it quite yet, I expect, but the juice is starting to come out. So as soon as I open up, I'm going to let a little bit build up so there's some lubrication inside. And the pulp is starting to come out, but look how thick that is. Now we want to be a little bit careful and make sure that this doesn't bleed too much. So first to the juice. There we go. Let's let that go. I'm going to close off, build up a little bit of lubrication again. And I'm just going to grab something to start to clear some of this from the chute. All right, friends, we're back at it. So I forgot honestly what my girlfriend and I used the last time to clear debris from the chute, but the end of a butter knife works quite nicely. So this juice, there's not a lot of juice coming out of this, but what's coming out is going to be potent. This is going to be strong. Right? Because this pulp is so fibrous, it's pretty important that you try to keep it clear as it moves through. All right, folks, that's the step. Continue to make the juice, juice the rest of this, continue to keep the ejection, the pulp ejection port all clear. And then when you're all finished with that, we'll move on to the next step. All right, friends. So that batch of ginger and turmeric we're done with. I would estimate we have probably about 12 ounces. Now, that doesn't, 10 to 12 ounces. That may not sound like a lot, but remember, the lion's share of the volume is going to be made up by orange juice, or it will be overpowering. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to mix black pepper in. Right, and you can see I'm not measuring, I'm not using any set amount, I'm just kind of eyeballing this. I have an idea what I want the end process to look like. There. Next step is start to take your oranges, cut your oranges in two, and when you've got a pile of oranges cut in two, we'll be ready to start using the citrus juicer. All right, friends, so we've got our ginger, turmeric, and black pepper solution. I've got the citrus juicer. I've got a bunch of oranges that I've cut into already the juice. I've got a vessel to collect the orange juice as well as a little spill cloth because it is going to spill some on the counter here when I go back and forth. So one thing that I didn't mention yet, but it's certainly not too late in the process or too early to mention, is we're going to want to mix um, the final product in something and sample it before we put in the little bottle, because that's going to have us a chance. That's going to give us a chance to adjust, right? In the off chance, I doubt it, but in the off chance that it's not strong enough, we'll juice more ginger and turmeric. But what I'm expecting, and I think is rather likely, is for it to be way too strong, which will give us the opportunity to put in more oranges. Right, so we could continue going on just like we're doing. However, periodically the pulp is going to build up and it's going to prevent some of the juice from coming through. So you're going to want to take some breaks, clear some space, allow the juice to drain down through the pulp. And I'm going to take a little break here and I'm going to rinse out the pulp basket as well. So I finished juicing the oranges. I poured the orange juice into our ginger, turmeric, and black pepper solution. I tasted it and made sure we got about the right combination, and that's very agreeable. It is potent and strong. Now I'm going to start the process of just pouring this into our jars. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this with the angle that I have, but I got a little drip rag underneath because inevitably I end up spilling some. And again, this will make the turmeric in it will make a terrible mess if you haven't taken some steps to make sure that you're really being vigilant to make sure that you clean that up as you go, or have something to soak it up, which is the choice I made here. And I only ended up using about half of the ginger, half the turmeric that I bought, which brings our price down from, I don't know, we said 16 or $17 down to under 10. And I've spent so far, including doing the video commentary along the way here, about an hour in this process. So cleanup is going to be significant because of the juicer and the two juicers, and especially the turmeric juice that I have gotten a few places on the counter, is going to require a little cleanup on my part. That's going to be a little bit extra time, but really not a huge investment of time. This could be part of your weekly kitchen sadhana. And so what we ended up with is enough juice to make 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Plus, there's another one or two shots there. I'll take one to be able to enjoy as to the victors go the spoils from my hard work from tonight, and then it'll be cleanup. So it turned out I found a 14th bottle. So I was able to make 14 shots. As you can see, I have roughly half the turmeric we started with and almost half the ginger that we started with, which takes our cost down to a total of about $10. Divide that by 14, it comes out to just a little bit under 72 cents a shot. And we have this potent, delicious, anti-inflammatory, immune system boosting homemade ginger turmeric shots. Salute. Enjoy, friends.